So, I've now seen Hotel Transylvania 3. Look, don't judge me, okay? I didn't see it because I'm an Adam Sandler fan. I saw it because I'm an Andy Samberg fan and I'm a Genndy Tartakovsky fan. And I was actually really curious about this one because Tartakovsky was the one writing. There was, well, I'm sure Adam Sandler improvised some stuff as he is wont to do, but this was written, well, half of it was written by Genndy Tartakovsky, and given that he's done stuff like Samurai Jack and the Clone Wars microseries, I was inclined to give it a fair shake. Then I found out the other writer worked on The Boss Baby. Non-spoiler thoughts out of the way first. I thought that it's a good kids movie. The trailers play up some of the gross-out humor more than you might think. There's a lot less of it than you'd expect. Like that one scene of Dracula farting because he's allergic to garlic, apparently, rather than it being poisonous. Yeah, there's not much of that. Yeah. It's really just what they showed in the trailers. Blobby puking up a child and Dracula farting. Those are the only two big gross out things, which is kind of amusing because the puppy's name is Tinkles and yet Tinkles never tinkles on anything. Does that count as a spoiler? Eh. So this was the Hotel Transylvania movie that finally committed to having an antagonist, like, all the way through. And Erika's a pretty good one. I mean, Kathryn Hahn really knows how to work despicable, so it was interesting to see her play likable, and I have some thoughts on that, but that's spoiler territory, so I'll wait. Animation is still great because it's Genndy Tartakovsky, and he's amazing, and yeah, I don't think this is gonna get a Best Animated Feature nomination because the Academy, but it's really good animation, and it's energized, and it's fun, and I like that. And honestly, the concept of a monster cruise is awesome, and they take advantage of it in a lot of ways. They finally did something funny with Steve Buscemi and Molly Shannon as the Wolf People parents. It's honestly great. I'm pretty sure that was just there for the parents, but it was so enjoyable. Andy Samberg has some of the best lines in this. I think he was channeling a lot more Jake Peralta into Jonathan this time around than he was into the previous two movies, but it's great, because, you know, Johnny's a fun character. He's very go with the flow and laid back, and they work that into its extreme towards the end of the movie, and it's great. Most of my thoughts on this are spoilerific, so I'm just gonna, yeah, spoilers. So, yeah, there is a villain in this movie all the way through, but it's Abraham Van Helsing, not Erika Van Helsing. It's a reveal about halfway through the movie that Van Helsing has turned himself into, like, a cyborg, and the whole reason that this cruise thing is happening is not just to kill Dracula, but to kill all the monsters by trapping them in Atlantis, which is a thinly veiled Atlantic city. And I don't know, that just rubbed me the wrong way, because now I feel like Erika's motivations and her arc as a redeemed villain would have been a lot more interesting if it had been all her, like, this whole thing about shouldering a legacy, but I don't know, they kind of seem to regurgitate what they did in Hotel Transylvania 2 about pushing back against an older relative's prejudices. It was better integrated than Hotel Transylvania 2 because it was, you know, a forward part of the narrative the whole way through, but yeah, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it makes it a lot easier for Erika. And okay, I'm just gonna get us out of the way. Their choice of Doomsday Device was freaking dumb. It's like a piece of music that you play, and it awakens the Joe Jonas Kraken that guards Atlantis. Yes, the Kraken is voiced by Joe Jonas because he doesn't talk at all, he just sings. What? Anyway, the music awakens the Kraken and makes it go into beast mode, and then they defeat it with happy music. Specifically the Macarena. And I'm like, what? Especially because The way that they defeat him is so stupid because Erika switches sides in the battle and she doesn't ever think like, oh, I'll just grab the music and rip it up and... Dumb! Dumb! I will say this, the Kraken's agitation music is actually really awesome and I kind of want to buy it. But yeah. If your climax centers around people doing the Macarena, I think you're doing your climax wrong, and I'm inclined to blame the other guy, not Gendy, for that one, because it seems like something he would do. The boss baby! The boss baby! I think, actually, that the biggest message of the movie is, you know, is one for kids who maybe their parents have separated or they've lost a parent, because a big part of it is, you know, Mavis dealing with the idea that her father might be moving on, and it's not discussed a lot, which I think does not do the issue justice, but Mavis clearly has some issues with her father being in love with someone other than her mother, because, you know, in Hotel Transylvania they have the concept of the zing, and that's supposed to be, you know, a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I guess... Well, I get that. I get the idea that it cheapens the idea of her father's relationship with her mother, and yeah, I would definitely say that it was... They didn't give enough time to Mavis, which was ironic because Mavis spent most of the movie saying this is supposed to be family time. Yeah, I know it's not really my brand or anything, but I think Hotel Transylvania 3 is actually the best Hotel Transylvania movie yet, and I know the Rotten Tomatoes critics don't agree with me, but I liked it. It's well animated, there are a lot of funny gags, it's low on the toilet humor. Really, the main problems are not fully exploring their themes, but a half-explored theme is still better than not exploring a theme at all and kind of, you know, ignoring it in favor of dumb stuff. This is probably the best one that encapsulates the idea of monster-human racism, because it's part of Erika's arc that she keeps seeing these moments of not humanity, but connection and love and that kind of relatable essence to the Dracula family, and then she has to, like, reinforce her belief that monsters are gross and whatnot, and it keeps kind of wearing her down. Yeah, I would imagine that this is what it's like to be a racist and suddenly being confronted with the people you are prejudiced against being, you know, people. Of course, I mean, they pulled out the same all is forgiven BS that was at the end of the second movie too. And I could kind of excuse that when it was Mel Brooks because it was Mel Brooks' character, but... Jim Gaffigan? I didn't even realize it was Jim Gaffigan playing Van Helsing. He didn't even do the voice, you know. Hot Pocket. Why didn't they do... Nah. It's a fun movie. No, really, it's fun. Go see it. Next time, I'm talking about Mamma Mia. Don't judge me, I'm getting paid!